So let's recap. I took a train from the airport to the city center and arrived about 12. There, I had to wait for the ferry in order to cross and get to my hostel. Luckily, the ferry came every 5 minutes, so I didn't have to wait very long. Once out, though, I definitely did not waste any time in getting to my hostel. For this trip, I decided to stay at Keukenhof. It was a pretty good price, and it seemed like a pretty good hostel. When I got there, I just checked in and headed to my room to get some sleep.
Okay guys, so I just got up. I'm really tired, but the plan is to check out the Tulip Fields. So I want you to see the view that I got from the hostel that I'm staying at. It's really cool.
Such an awesome view. So peaceful and relaxing. I could have stayed there for at least another hour, but I had to go. With very little time to spare, I followed the insane amount of bicycles all the way to the ferry stop, where there was already a crowd waiting, ready to exit. It was crazy just how many people were riding their bikes. One thing was clear, this was the go-to mode of transportation in Amsterdam. As I boarded onto the ferry, I just couldn't help but feel an overwhelming sense of freedom from the view. Riding back into town, and then I was off. Back into the city of Amsterdam. Bikes, and more bikes. I thought about renting one, but the bike traffic seemed really intense. So instead, I just headed into the city for some breakfast and enjoyed the picturesque views of the canals. Really, it was breathtaking. I also checked out a couple of shops, and you could definitely tell that spring was in the air. I even found some fake tulips. But I had my own tulips to catch, so I went back to Central Station.
So I just got done with breakfast, so you guys can check out the video. Best places to get breakfast in Amsterdam. And I'm about to head to Keukenhof Garden, which is the Tulip Field Park. I bought my ticket online because it was just a lot easier that way. It includes bus transportation. So let's go see what everyone's talking about.
Once I got to the airport, it was time to take the bus to Keukenhof. I had gotten my ticket online for I think maybe 32 euros, and it included the bus ride from the airport to the park. The line was pretty long to get to the bus, so make sure you take that into account. Also, you can buy your ticket at the airport, but I suggest getting it online. The bus ride was really comfortable and even had Wi-Fi, which wasn't the best, but occasionally it worked. It was only about a 30-minute ride, so it wasn't too bad. Known as the Garden of Europe, Keukenhof is one of the world's largest flower gardens. People from all walks of life come to explore this amazing park located in Leest, Netherlands. Over 7 million flower bulbs are planted annually, and you can see over 800 varieties of tulips and other flowers while you're there. You'll have to plan in advance though, because this park is only open for 2 months out of the year. Typically, it's between mid-March to mid-May, but most people recommend that you go mid-April because this is the best time to see them, although it can also depend on the weather. They had maps at the entrance, but I just wanted to get lost and explore the whole time. It felt like I was Alice in Wonderland, lost, and with every turn there was a different scenery with unique characters in the form of natural beauty. The flowers were singing and the whole park seemed to be in sync with each other. There were also so many people from all over the world. At one point it felt surreal since the amount of diversity was so overwhelming. Young and old, black and white, cultures from all over the world coming together to celebrate in the beauty of Mother Nature. If heaven was a place on earth, then this was it. Keukenhof was more than just a garden. It was a celebration of life, and I was lucky enough to be able to experience it. Without a doubt, this was my favorite part of the trip. Prepare to spend a couple of hours as I spent almost half a day there. Eventually, though, the party came to an end as the sun started to set, and I realized it was time to go. So I got back on the bus and headed back to the airport. But if you want to see more of this natural beauty that is Keukenhof, check out my video with interviews from other tourists as well.
Okay, so that was basically like going to a theme park for adults with Tulip Fields. Oh, it was freaking awesome. You guys should definitely check it out if you can. Just incredible, really. I have very, very low battery. I don't have like anything charged, so I am going back to the hostel to get recharged. And then we'll probably check out the red light district tonight. I don't know what other fun stuff we will get into.
It was definitely a good idea to take the train back to the city center, as the bus would have taken way too long. When staying in Amsterdam, I highly recommend that you book a place near Central Station. This is just easier so that when you arrive at the airport, you can catch the train for about €5, and boom, in half an hour or less, you're at Central Station close to where you're staying at. Also, just another piece of advice. When traveling, do take breaks. Don't be afraid to go back to your hotel or hostel and take a nap. This way, you can recharge your batteries and be ready to take on the rest of your adventure. Most people consider travel to be this leisure activity where you're lounging around all day, but after walking around for a couple of hours, you may definitely need some rest, which is exactly why I was going back to my hostel. I had no phone battery, very little camera battery left, and was tired from walking around Keukenhof. Not to mention that I slept so little since I had arrived. The sun was definitely setting now, and there was only one solution left. Siesta time.
Okay, so we are getting ready to go out on the town. It's nighttime now, probably about 9 o'clock. And we will probably hit up the red light district.
Amsterdam nightlife is known for a couple of things. With working public transportation late into the night, you can head to the main city center where you can find some good places to get a snack. Or if you head down seemingly secluded alleyways, you might find one of their famous coffee shops. It's technically only legal to smoke inside these shops, so you won't see anyone smoking out in the street. But if you head closer to the red light district, this is where you'll find the heart of Amsterdam nightlife. Packed with mostly male tourists, the district is famous for its legal and organized prostitution. Don't worry if this is not your thing though, there's plenty of bars to grab a beer around the area.
Okay guys, so it seems like the journey for the night has come to an end. It's kind of chilly, but you got to see some of the red light district and the overall energy of the city at night. So we've got lots of stuff planned for tomorrow, and I'll check back with you then.